Super Scope Cream.
It's whatever intelligence or instinct it is that can govern the forming of human flesh and blood out of thin air is fantastically powerful, beyond any comprehension.
A cursed, dreadful, malevolent thing was happening to those he loved.
This isn't just an ordinary body, is it?
I never saw one like it. It looks unused.
The sensational star discovery of The View from Pompey's Head. And now an undreamed of horror makes her life and love a vortex of fear.
Jack! Miles, where do they come from?
I don't know.
Suddenly, while you're asleep, they'll absorb your minds, your memories.
I don't want any part of it.
You're forgetting something, Miles.
What's that?
You have no choice.
From city to city, an incredible hysterical panic spreads. As the unimaginable becomes real, the impossible becomes true.
Stop and listen! Stop and listen to me! Listen! Listen! Listen to me! You're not human! Can't you see? Everyone! They're here already! You're next!
And good morning, everybody. I hope you took a drink from my mess up there. I know it's early, but you can always have Irish coffee. Anyway, welcome to day 8 of the 31 Days of Monsters. Today we're talking about Don Siegle's 1956 sci-fi classic, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. This movie was just an amazing, this is really an A-list film. It's so well done. It's so well shot. It's interesting because the star of the movie was good friends with Montgomery Clift. And Montgomery Clift at the same time was shooting Raintree County with Elizabeth Taylor. And Kevin McCarthy was shooting this movie, sort of a little beef picture for a low-grade production company. And yet, nobody's talking about Raintree County. Everybody remembers Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So, you just never know what's going to stick. You think that's the that you want to be in something, but he ends up being in something else that everybody remembers now, which is pretty cool. Despite the lurid title of this movie, this is really, really grade A science fiction. The original title was going to be The Body Snatchers, but it was too close to the Val Lewton title, so producers got a little nervous. So here's some of the choices that they had for it. It was They Come from Another World. Okay, so that's awful similar to Universal's Came from Outer Space, or The Thing from Another World, which came out in 1951. Better Off Dead. That's pretty good, but it kind of sounds like a Robert Mitchum 1950s film noir type movie. Sleep No More. That's my favorite. I think that one would have been a great title for this movie. Sleep No More. Evil in the Night. Yeah, okay. Again, it kind of sounds like a noir film. And World in Danger. That has more of a sci-fi sound to it, but I think Sleep No More has a really cool title to it. But at any rate, we're still talking about, I don't know, what is it, 70 years later? Close to 7 years later, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So I guess they chose the right one. Kevin McCarthy and Dana Winter. This is like Dana Winter's second movie, and she's just gorgeous in this film. And I love the relationship between Dr. Miles Bennell and Becky Driscoll. I mean, whoever picked up that name, Becky Driscoll, sounds like All-American Girl. And I think that's probably what they were going for. It has a very Mark Twain sound to it, because this was this little all-American California town that begins to get taken over by these alien pods, and people are getting absorbed. And they say there's been a lot of rumors about that this was an indictment of McCarthyism and or a statement, I should say, against McCarthyism and communism. But a lot of the people involved say that just wasn't so. It was just, that people were reading more into that. In fact, director Don Siegel said that it's the pod people represent Hollywood executives. And I would go one step further and I would say comic book executives. So there we go. Don Siegel, the director of this film, of course, directed Dirty Harry. He directed Escape from Alcatraz. He was a big influence on Clint Eastwood on how he directed, because he directed Clint in a bunch of movies. He also directed John Wayne in his last film, The Shootist. So this is at the beginning of Siegel's career. He had done a lot of noir films for studios. The dialogue coach on this film also has an appearance. He is the meter reader when they look down into the basement, and the meter reader is actually putting a pod down there. And that dialogue director, or dialogue coach rather, was none other than future director Sam Peckinpah, who has a little cameo in there. He shows up in one of the later scenes too, when they chase Dr. Bennell out onto the highway. Kevin McCarthy was talking about how he had to do so much running in this thing that by the end of the movie, he was exhausted. And when they filmed that last sequence where he runs out into the highway, those are all stunt drivers driving around him. But he was so tired from all that running that Don Siegel was concerned that he may trip or fall and get run over. So he had instructed his stunt drivers to be extra careful on that night of shooting. The prologue and the end part where Dr. Bennell is like a raving maniac, and at the end, well, some of you may not have ever seen this, so I'm not going to reveal the end, but those were added. Those weren't part of the original shooting. They went back and reshot that little framing device because I guess maybe the producers didn't think it ended properly. And I think Siegel was upset about that. I like it. This is what I like about these movies, is that as terrifying and thrilling as they may be, there's usually a hopeful ending on it. And I like that because I'm a positive glass half full kind of guy. So that appeals to me. What else? Oh, yes. Let us do this. Forgot to show the poster, because this is another example of 50s poster art, which is fantastic. This is a terrifying scene when Miles realizes that Becky has been absorbed, and her face is dead. It's like all emotion is gone from her, and he realizes that, and in the blink of an eye, she's been absorbed and gone, never to return. McCarthy played wide-eyed crazy guys really well. And he actually has a cameo in the 1978 version, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, playing Dr. Bennell during the screaming, running in front of cars type scene. Here's one of the pods that were created by the special effects department. Now, when the bodies pop out of that, all the actors had to have molds casts of their naked bodies, and that was not an easy affair. They had to be encased basically with straws sticking out of their nose so they could breathe. And Carolyn Jones, who who has a small role in this film, is claustrophobic, so she had a really hard time with that. But it paid off really well because those dummies, if you will, look so good, and the producers wanted the nudity to be removed because like they're born out of these pods, and I guess they wanted them to wear clothes or something like that. And Don Siegel was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But they covered it all up with the bubbles and everything, and so you couldn't see any of the naughty bits, as it were. Now, in 2003, my family, we took our daughter Becky and the other girls to, and it's not Becky Driscoll, it's Becky Nolan. We took them to a Monster Bash in Butler, Pennsylvania, and I talked about this the last couple of days, where we saw King Kong's armature, we saw the Blob, and we got to meet Kevin McCarthy, who was just the sweetest man. A New York stage actor, a consummate Irishman, and he just really took to my girls. He was just so sweet. He even took a picture of us. He said, "Let me take a picture of you guys." So we gave him the camera, and he took a picture of us. These are my girls. Up top is Sarah, Becky, and Mary, and they just really hit it off. He signed stuff, pictures for them, and we have a photograph of Kevin, one of his still photographs signed by him. So he was a really, really sweet man, and it was really great to meet him. Well, let's say good morning to everybody. Dr. Mask is here. Good morning. Well, there we go. Dr. Mask is one who has not seen this. It's streaming on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, it's free. You can watch it, and you should, because tomorrow we're going to be doing the 1978 version. I looked around for that one, and I can't find it where it's free anywhere. So you may have to rent that one. Thrim is here. Raven Saber. Pop Culture Avenger. Who needs to stay awake? Yes, drink that coffee. You know what happens when you fall asleep. The pod people will get you. Prater 7, Fearless Freep is here. Dr. Mask remembers Kevin McCarthy on a number of CBS radio mystery theaters. Good stuff. He was all over TV, too. He was in a few episodes of The Rifleman. One of them, he plays Mark Twain. Thrim says, rewatched this one yesterday. It's free on Prime, at least in the U.S. Have to watch the 78 remake again. Yeah, I want to watch that one today and get caught up on it. Dana Winter was a looker, too. Oh, yeah, she was beautiful. Bill Glasby is here. Good morning. This one scared the snot out of me, says Fearless Freep. I became suspicious of watermelons. Another one I saw only in black and white. Well, this one is in black and white, so you didn't miss anything there. Mike Joseph says, love this movie. It really creeped me out as a kid. The last Blu-ray release is great. I'm so glad for the audio commentary with Joe Dante, Kevin McCarthy, and Dana Winter. Okay, I'm getting yelled at because the beginning was muted. That's because I hadn't put myself in the studio. Mike Joseph says this should be paired up with Invaders from Mars. Make for a great double feature. George Travelos is here. Rob Younce. Good morning. Good morning. Joe, just Joe. To me, this is the scariest movie of all time. I still have nightmares about it. It is. It's wonderfully creepy. It touches on our need to trust as a society, we have to be able to trust each other. We have to be able to trust our government. We have to be able to trust our neighbors. And this takes that all away. Of course, my trust of government went out a long time ago, but because I think they are pod people. TGIF. Yep. Yeah. Happy Friday, everybody. Devil Flyer is here. Dennis Shoemate is here. Good morning, Dennis. Don Siegle doesn't get enough credit as a great director. Yeah, I agree with that. Thrym thinks he directed Two Mules for Sister Sarah, too. Could be. I don't know. Well, Prater 7's another one who hasn't seen it yet. I bet he's seen two of the other versions, the Gabriel Anwar and the Daniel Craig one. Every iteration of this has been enjoyable. The 1978 version is really good, and that's the one we'll talk about tomorrow. JP Roca says, it looks like a musical poster. Yeah, it's funny because it does look like these people are dancing back here, especially this guy here in the yellow shirt with the red tie, and then this dude over here. It looks like they're dancing, which is pretty funny. Joe says the pods were a little disappointing. They had no weight to them. It's a minor beef. That's true. But maybe the organs and bones and stuff were still forming. See, we can write that out of it. Oh. Hyperkaiju says it looks like the 1978 Invasion of the Body Snatchers is free on YouTube Movies. Okay. Everybody go over there today and watch that. Graham Nolan, I met a really nice guy at Terrificon this year. Even brought him some Woodford Reserve. I wonder who that was. Orlando Herrera, good day, mate. 78 version is available here on you. Okay, yep. If you want to purchase this, the Olive Films Signature Series Blu-ray is a must-own. It's a great disc. Thank you, Mike. That's good to know. Tobias Patrick's first memory of Kevin McCarthy is from The Twilight Zone, the movie. Please hit like, chat. Thank you, George. It's something I always forget to remind people. To hit the like button, subscribe, and then hit that little bell for notifications of things I'm going to broadcast. Yesterday, I did my first live drawing stream showing how I create a page from Alien Alamo. And I'll probably do more of those. That was fun. It just took a little bit of time to figure out how to pair up or mirror up my iPad Pro. But I got it done, and it worked out good. I think people enjoyed that, seeing the process. And, of course, I have to mention that Alien Alamo is still available for now. It'll be closing down pretty soon as I wind down. Once I finish the actual interior artwork and have to move on to other aspects of the preparing for fulfillment, I'm going to close the campaign out. So if you're on the fence and you haven't backed it yet, please do so. The actual limited edition t-shirts are going to be coming down very shortly because I have to get those orders in too. So Those will only be printed. Those shirts will only be printed enough for to cover all the backers that have purchased them. So that is going to keep them, very limited and collectible. So if you're thinking about one of those, you might want to hop on that too. So everybody, tomorrow we're gonna revisit Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but we're going to move ahead about 22 years to 1978, starring Donald Sutherland in the role, and a great performance by Leonard Nimoy too in that movie, as they tap into some modern new age crap, which is really cool and timely for the time. It's a really excellent remake, and you can't say that about too many films. So, guys, have a great day. Have a great Friday. Cocktail hour starts in about 8 hours. Enjoy, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Remember, Saturdays and Sundays are 9 o'clock. So we'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye-bye.